Mark My Words Productions.
What's up, world? I'm Marc Marcel. Right now I'm going to take the time to answer a few questions that I'm receiving through YouTube, preferably about dimethyltryptamine and some of the experiences that one may have when using such a substance. And I'm going to have a few of my friends aid me through the process. Nehemiah Clark, Teejay O'Connell, and Emerson Roze. Now, some of these questions are pretty relevant when it comes to partaking in this substance. Other questions are interesting, to say the least. Other questions, you can tell that there's a tone of fear in it. But hey, we're here to clear up a lot of those insecurities or questions that one may have. So here we go.
Do you have a suggestion for the age that an average person is ready to try DMT?
I think that we should start having it as a once-a-month thing, starting in elementary schools. I mean, that's what I think.
He's just joking.
I wouldn't say there's an age. I would say it's more or less mentally where you're at, like, you know.
I am very eager to try DMT, however I have done little research, and I'm not sure it is a good idea just yet. I have just turned 18, and feel like my mind is still developing, and I'm worried that it may change me into a different person.
I really think that anything that you're putting into your body, especially when it comes to food, and I don't want to sound preachy or anything, but I mean, like, as people, we don't even care anymore. We don't look at the ingredients. We don't do anything. We just throw it all. So, I mean, I think that it's good to know exactly what it is, where it comes from, what it's going to do, why it's even in your body. Like, know all of this stuff. Research people who've done it, see what they said about it. I mean, really, really do your research, because this is something that's really powerful.
Right.
And I think that by doing the research, it'll answer a lot of the questions that you may have, and also it'll kind of prepare you as much as you can be prepared.
Yeah, it will change you forever, but why is that a bad thing? Like, motherfuckers want to evolve, right? This is evolution. Like, this is sparking the fucking the flame. Like,
But see, I get it that people are so worried about change. What really changes, you can't stop change. Change is happening right now.
That's right, yeah. You know, and yeah, DMT would change you if you were to go and do it for the first time, especially if you're seeking answers. You know, if you're doing it recreationally to, say, just trip out, I still think that even then you're still going to see a message, because it doesn't matter. Whenever you go in, you end up learning something. I don't know. It's like they're trying to tell us something every time we go in.
What I'd like to know is, aren't you afraid that the information you were given wasn't rightfully yours to obtain? DMT is in our brain naturally, but that doesn't mean it's necessary to put more there, and it doesn't make it right. What if this information was hidden from us by the earth or God, to protect us from some bad manipulation out there?
That's an odd question, but to protect us from what? Like the truth?
I know.
no, that's just weird. I think it's everyone's birthright to go to this dimension, and whatever information they can bring back and perceive of it, they should.
The answer to me is simple. Like, how is the people take it like, aren't you afraid of attaining knowledge that is not rightfully yours? Well, if it's not rightfully yours, you wouldn't have attained it in that realm. You know what I'm saying? It's, you're not going to stumble onto something that is not rightfully yours. It's not just going to be given to you like that.
That's right. And who's just that almost makes it sound like you're stealing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I didn't have to break through no walls. I just did like some easy meditating, and I was able to learn this information.
It helps people think of oneness and love, and now you do not even fear death. How do you not care that you may have crossed a barrier that God was physically protecting you from?
Okay, well, my question is to the people that assume that God was protecting us from it. How would they physically know? Did you talk to God and actually you talked to him and he's like, hey, I put this barrier up and if you smoke this drug, you will cross it?
If God is angry that I crossed, then I would definitely feel like I crossed God, wouldn't I? Like,
Where did you get that info? How do you know that God put this barrier up? You're making up things almost to the person asking the question. You know, they know that he made a barrier. How do you know? What are you, God's carpenter? Did you build the barrier with God?
How do you feel about your life when you're not taking DMT? How has it changed your everyday life? Do you still want to go to work? How do you feel about other people now?
I feel, like I feel better than I did before I did it.
I mean, it's been so long since I've done it too, but you know what? You don't stop thinking about it. That's the one negative factor is you think about the meaning of life.
Definitely still want to go to work, more for myself, and I still feel the same. more or less about other people, you know?
Right.
What is it exactly? So everything in the universe is one consciousness?
I mean, 'cause it's so funny calling this the names humans give it, God, heaven, the afterlife, just seems so elementary.
There's different ways of breaking it down. I can describe in different words than you will describe it, but really we're talking about the same place, you know?
Right.
So, you know what I like to look at it like? I like to look at it like a central station for like, you know, like it's like a place you can go. It's like a train station of, you know.
Before you get to heaven.
Before you'd get to heaven.
Sounds like heaven or the afterlife to me.
Definitely. The after and before life.
I kind of like that.
What if you never come out of it? Imagine being in that world peripheral. You'd go mad. Drugs like sin are a temporary high. We come out of it and then the natural guilt and emptiness overwhelms. As humans, we need permanence, and that is Jesus Christ. People who have died and came back tell an experience beyond words, a pure love beyond words. They tell us that heaven is our real home, and not earth. Don't be fooled into this. There is no high better than Jesus.
That's a weird... Somebody asked you that?
Mm-hmm.
Who said that?
I don't know them personally.
Would you go mad or
no,
would go
they're
mad?
telling you would go mad.
So someone is assuming
you would go mad, yeah.
No, but he would go mad? Like, has he done it?
No, what they're doing is basically, they're trying to tell you what's going to happen to you, and they know nothing about the substance.
So if it's anything like you're being crossed over, say you go into the DMT realm and you never come out of it, I would assume that your body has probably died. And what would be considered going mad? I mean...
you could think you're mad right now.
Well, I would have to look at that over time. And if I look at Terrence McKenna, who was a long user, he didn't look like he sounded insane towards his death, right?
Yeah, but to the average motherfucker, Terrence McKenna sounds weird.
Well,
you know that.
What exactly did you see and experience in your trips? I'd like to compare our experiences.
The things I see, man, like there's really, like, it's really hard to find the words to even describe what you see, you know, like
I mean, with this trip, it was, I played music.
I usually like to do it in silence.
I left my eyes open.
Like, and this is with your eyes closed.
It was very calming.
Intense and overwhelming.
Felt like I was in control of it.
It's definitely something out of this world.
And I was just looking at that and just looking at like the candles and stuff around it and just watching everything.
What was it doing? Was it moving?
Just moving.
It's kind of like a kaleidoscope of different things.
Ever morphing, changing.
And the mandala was turning and almost beating like a heart.
And this world just kind of like gave way. It's like I just kind of like zoomed in.
Where everybody's celebrating your arrival when you get there.
I was communicating with the molecules and the atoms in my body.
Man, shadowy beings that you can't really look at.
Beings made of light totally changing as well in almost synchronistic morphing time patterns with everything else that's going around. And
everything busted up, like you mentioned, like where you can't really look directly at them.
They showed you objects that have liquid in them that are also changing and morphing.
The stuff around it, everything was like vibrating and like real staticky, just like
just levels and just it's just
Yeah,
levels of
levels,
existence.
It's like a fractal.
Kaleidoscopic.
Space, stars.
I don't see any still pictures. I don't see anything flat. I don't see anything without patterns. I don't see anything.
Nothing is still. I have zoomed back into this world, which lets me feel that this world is small. Like they're saying to you, like, this isn't real.
When I came out of it, it just felt like a stream of information pertaining to things that I was going through and things that I am going through. And it was just a stream of information coming at me, just helping me, you know, through all of these, what some would call trials and tribulations, you know, just helping me through them and just, you know, helping me move forward and just to remember, you know, who I am.
Can you elaborate more on the insight you attained while in that realm and its meanings?
It's kind of like the matrix system where you can go in and learn things about yourself.
Right.
You know, the things that nobody teaches us in this life, like hands-on, you know, like self-esteem and stuff like that, and pride and all those types of things.
I think it was the first time that I truly understood what they meant was that your body has a whole universe inside of it.
Right.
Because all of those extra beings and things that you're communicating with and all those angels and stuff, they're all within our body, you know, every single day. You know, like we have an infinite amount of molecules and atoms within us. And we forget that those molecules are alive.
A lot of the information we learn, I think, through the DMT is, number one, for the newcomers, I think for the most part, it teaches you to let go of ego and stuff like that and break the barriers of your ego.
And I feel that sometimes when my mind wants to go back and, you know, be egoic and, you know, start to like worry about the issues and problems that don't even matter, like I'm able to kind of snap out of it and mind myself and be like, hey, you know, like, hold up, take a second, you know, that's not even what you should be thinking about or worried about right now.
These things they're teaching us things. So like when we cross over to this dimension, whatever's there, whether it be our intuition and whatever other energy, it's telling us to evolve and get past all this greed and all these other different things and learn to love, like you'd mentioned before, you know.
It's like, do you feel like you're supposed to figure out something?
I think that in remembering, that is figuring out.
So you think already it's remembering exactly what you are?
I think remembering what you are, and you will see the harmony and the connection within everything, you know?
Right.
And we already know this, like you said in your videos where, you know, we already know all of this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And that's the wildest thing to it. It's like really, like there's really nothing new. There's no new information about nothing. You know? It's crazy.
But when you're there, and you can, you know, you can testify to this too, they tell you that you're able to get here without this.
Yeah.
Without doing the DMT. So how else do you get there? Through meditation. If in DMT, it's only a form of meditation, you know, like it's a meditative serum that just shoots you to that place instantly without having to do all the legwork, you know, then the way to get there is through meditation. So at times I feel like, oh, what's the point of doing this? But then also I look at it as a blessing because through the DMT world, I've been able to actually get an idea of where meditation can take you.
Like we was talking before, it's one thing to remember, but it's another thing to know. It's like we hear all this information, but we actually have to like utilize this information. We have to put it to use. You have to live it. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a combination of remembering and doing.
Yeah. Just with anything.
Right.
You don't learn martial arts by watching people do
exactly.
It. You know?
You
learn
practice
martial arts by practicing it every single day.
Right.
You know? What NBA star said that they made it to NBA by watching by sitting, spending hours and hours watching videos of Kobe.
Right.
None of them. Every single one of them spend hours and hours on the court.
Right, exactly.
You know,
and then they went and played the game.
And then they went and played the game, you know?
Exactly.
And they used that stuff just as reference, you know?
Exactly. I want to thank y'all for watching. This has been another episode of Chronicles of the Mind. I want to thank the YouTubers for the questions. Hopefully the answers that me and my friends provided can give some type of clarity and aid you in your process. Oh, I got a magic trick for y'all. Subscribe to the channel if you get the chance. More videos coming. I'm not out of tricks. Check out some of my friends' channel as well. Nehemiah Clark, Teejay O'Connell, Emerson Roze. They got some great information, great videos up there. Again, thank y'all for listening. And until next time, live, learn, love, and laugh.
Some of these questions, to me, I'd be like, have you done DMT? No. Okay, well, go back and do it again. Then come back, ask your question. Like, I don't want to be the DMT 101. No. I'm like the next year later, you know. You smoked it, and now we can debate about what.
You're like, don't talk to me about it until you've done it.
Dead out. I swear to God, my latest video says that.
That's funny.
I know they give me respect, even before walking the venue, they see it tatted on my neck.
Mark My Words Productions.